Okay, great.
Okay.
I actually went back and listened to all the episodes. And it was interesting because someone else who does a podcast said to me, you know what you'll find is...
We're at episode 10 of The New Normal. And just like the theme of this podcast, we wanted to take a few minutes to pull back the curtain on what it's like to produce this during a pandemic. I am Maydianne Andrade, and from the University of Toronto, this is The New Normal.
I want people to feel what it's like. I don't want people just to listen to people talking because we might as well be doing this.
This podcast is a creative collaboration with Lisa Lightbourn. She's a multimedia producer for Central Communications at University of Toronto.
And that is actually the piece that people commented on the most early on. It was so great to hear like life in your house.
Playing basketball in your room? That's pretty good. When she pitched the show to me, the thing that I thought was interesting was this idea of all of us being in the same storm. Home became work, work became home.
Hello.
Hi.
It's just crazy. Like, I feel like everything just been kind of thrown through a loop. I feel really lost.
Our worlds intersected or crashed together in ways that we hadn't experienced before. This is Eric Schneiderhan. He's a professor of sociology. This is Ishita Chakrabarti. This is Chika Stacy Oriu.
12 years old.
Mark Campbell is a professor in arts. I think my earliest memory of music is my dad playing the piano for us. That blurring of the lines was an opportunity to think, to pause, and to assess what is really important to all of us.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
My husband, that's the other piece is, yeah.
I had to ask my son to turn down his music, so.
We started with exploring those new experiences. Shopping.
The Corona Shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you move through a small downtown grocery store?
How are you doing?
Without
Thanks for doing this work.
getting into someone's personal space?
I'll go this way.
What do I do? It's not always clear what you do. The importance of music, the spontaneous balcony concerts.
What are some other things that we've been doing at home while we've been home during the bad cold?
I don't know.
You don't know?
One of the first things that kind of, to me, went really, really viral on this were people performing on their balconies in Italy, right? And you can hug someone or you can move their heart from a distance. I don't know that I realized the show would naturally go in the direction that it has.
So now thinking about producing this in a pandemic, and also the direction that it's taken in terms of just naturally being a lot about the inequities that are coming to surface, right? This was not like how
that was not the goal initially.
No.
Equity is a big part of my life and my work, but I thought that this show would just be about, I don't know, shopping, how we walk down a sidewalk. It has almost been 2 weeks since the day when George Floyd was killed in the street. It's enough. It has to change.
Yeah, I mean, when we brought up that episode, I thought there's no better opportunity to do this. There's no better person that I've worked with that would be able to approach this well. And then from my perspective, you know, I'm white, and I thought, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was representing, as I always, like, that's my goal in everything, that I'm representing voice properly. So that was just a little extra weight that I thought, this is a two-parter. This is really important. It's representing, you know, so many people and individuals, not only that we had in the podcast, you and the university. And I was just like, okay, let's just do this right.
Let's do it.
There's never a point where seeing those things just doesn't completely knock you down.
Julius Hogg is a professor of sociology.
I remember my first karting stop was coming to U of T one day. It was a beautiful sunny day. I was biking down College Street past Spadina.
But I mean, it's worth
car pulled ahead of me.
people understanding that our process is each person who's a guest on the podcast, I actually talk to for an hour. And we have some rough idea about the kinds of questions I'm going to ask or things we're going to talk about. But like I tell them, this is organic and I want to actually hear what you have to say. I heard from many colleagues that the personal stories are what brought it home for them.
Like, this is kind of like, it will be sort of an end of summer episode, right?
It will be. Yeah.
And I know, it feels weird.
It does. And I remember, where was this? Maybe it was around when we were doing class of 2020, so almost halfway through, we kind of had a touch base. And I think it wasn't clear to you whether I was wanting to continue. And we both kind of said, but people are listening now. Like, colleagues are saying, I want, you're helping me get through this. It's great to touch base, and we talk about it afterwards.
Even the title of the podcast, I mean, it was an easy pick for the title of the podcast in a way, but I was thinking of it more like, it's still changing, right? Yeah. We are still trying to figure out what a new normal will be, and it's not going back, right?
We don't want to go back necessarily to this world where people had blinkers on about equity, where we thought about, I don't know, profit more than people, where, there's all these different aspects of how we're thinking about people and our neighbors now that we want to continue. We just have to figure out what it looks like as we move through this.
It's all new from here on out, and we're kind of starting from scratch in a lot of ways.
I agree. It's all new, and that is something that has possibility in it that wasn't there before for people who were maybe constrained by what was there. So hopefully I hang on to that.
Cool. And hopefully you'll have time for podcasting over the year.
Yeah.
I am Maydianne Andrade. This is the new normal.